Night had stretched long, heavy with fear. Khem sat trembling, his body curled in on itself, too scared even to lift his head. Pharan's eyes lingered on him for a moment before turning back to the battle at hand. "Master, it's been an hour. Please come back." Jet's voice cracked with desperation, but Pharan could only do so much. He dragged Chayot's decaying shadow out of the dimension it was hiding in. The air turned sour, the smell of rot clung to the spirit. "Master!" Jet cried out again. Pharan opened his physical eyes at last, his voice cutting through the tension like a blade. "Go fetch a pot." Jet didn't waste a second. His heart was pounding as he ran, his hands fumbling for the enchanted clay pot, an ancient vessel designed to hold dangerous spirits. He returned quickly and handed it over. Without hesitation, Pharan forced Chayot's struggling spirit into the pot, slammed the lid down, and wrapped it tightly with a red cloth inscribed in protective symbols. His expression was unreadable. "Follow me." His words were calm, but the weight behind them allowed no argument. Jet and Chan obeyed, trailing behind him as they left the house and entered the forest. The forest was darker than it should have been. Lanterns cast flickering circles of light, but shadows seemed to press closer with every step. None of them spoke. The only sounds were the crunch of dried leaves beneath their feet and the distant calls of night creatures. By the time it was close to 5 in the morning, Pharan halted. He turned slowly, scanning the trees. "Chem is nearby," he said with certainty. His tone left no room for doubt. He instructed the 2 young men to split up and search. Chan started off in one direction, but Jet yanked him back sharply. "Where do you think you're going?" "You'll fall off that cliff and die." Chan frowned, pointing forward. "What cliff?" "It's just a path." Jet blinked, rubbed his eyes, and the cliff vanished. Where there had been a deadly drop, now there was only a narrow trail. A bitter taste filled his mouth. He had been tricked by a spirit's illusion. He clicked his tongue in annoyance. Pharan moved calmly toward the path Chan had pointed out. Moments later, a faint golden glow flickered behind a massive tree. The 3 approached. And there it was, the sacred thread Pharan had blessed and tied to Chem yesterday. It shimmered faintly, a lifeline in the darkness. "Chem!" Jet shouted, his heart leaping with relief as he rushed forward. But the relief turned to horror. Chem was lying motionless against the tree. His eyes were glassy and empty, his face pale. It was the same chilling state Frame had been in before. Pharan's voice was steady. "Call his spirit back first." Jet quickly stepped aside. Pharan lit incense and candles from his bag, placing them carefully into the ground. His hands came together in prayer as his eyes closed. "Spirit, O spirit, return. Where has the soul of Khemjira flown? May the deities of this forest protect him and guide him back. Do not let him wander any longer." The wind shifted. Slowly, Khem's stiff body softened. His eyes fluttered, closing gently. His breathing steadied. He was back, alive, just sleeping. Jet bent down, tears pricking his eyes, and tried to lift him. But after a long night with no rest, his arms were weak. Khem's weight dragged heavily against him, and he staggered dangerously close to slipping. Pharan stepped forward. "Give him here." Startled, Jet tried to argue. Master, I can do it." "It won't trouble you." But Pharan's voice was firm, sharp enough to freeze the air. "Give him here." With no choice, Jet surrendered. He had never seen Master Pharan carry anyone before. His aura was still monk-like, distant and untouchable. But now, he lifted Chem with ease, holding him securely in his arms. "Lead the way," Pharan told Chan, who nodded nervously and guided them back out of the forest. Once back at the house, Pharan laid Chem gently in his room to rest. Then his expression hardened. It was time to deal with Chayot. He returned to the sealed jar, untied the cloth, and pulled the spirit out. The room was laced with magical incantations, candles burning low, shadows shivering against the walls. The air grew so cold that even a breath felt sharp. Chayot collapsed to his knees, trembling under Pharan's gaze. His khaki uniform flickered like smoke. Pharan sat across from him, eyes piercing. "Why are you doing this?" Chayot's voice broke as he clutched his hands together. "How long I've loved him, and you never knew. You abandoned him in the past. And in this life, you don't care for him at all. So why?" The rest of the words were cut short as Pharan's kick slammed into his chest, sending him crashing backwards. Pharan crouched, grabbed him by the hair, and yanked his face up to meet his own. His eyes burned like fire. "You don't love him, Chayot. You love yourself." The spirit gasped, black tears spilling down his cheeks. The words cut deeper than any blow. "In the past, you forged my letter and caused his death. And now you want to claim his life again. What should I do with you?" "I just wanted to protect him," Chayot cried desperately. "If I had his spirit, I'd be stronger. I could protect him from the evil that's coming." Pharan's grip tightened until Chayot screamed. "Did you ever ask him if he wanted that? You think love means possession. You do what you want, then sulk when you aren't rewarded. You never change." "Ah, it hurts. I'm scared. Let me go." Pharan's voice was unyielding. "You scared him too. You call it love, but all you've ever done is hurt him even as a ghost. After lifetimes, you still don't understand." His voice dropped to a chilling whisper. "Perhaps I should tie you in this jar, sink you to the bottom of the river, and leave you there for 20 years. Chayot's eyes widened in pure terror. "No, please, don't do this. I want to stay with Chem. If I'm not here, who will protect him?" For a moment, silence filled the room. The question hung heavy. But then Pharan's expression hardened. "That is not the duty of a ghost like you. Reflect on your actions. If you have not changed by the time I return, be ready for the river." Chayot screamed as Pharan forced him back into the jar and sealed it once more with sacred cloth. The room fell silent. And so, for now, the chaos has settled. Khem's spirit was called back, safe in Pharan's arms. Chayot's obsession was sealed away once again, though his desperate cries still echo inside that jar. And the 3 missing students, Kornkan, Pondit, and Tejathon, were pulled back from the edge of death, their fate hanging by the thinnest thread. But deep questions remain. What will become of Chayot? Will his so-called love finally destroy him? Or can he change before Pharan casts him into the river for eternity? And what of the darker, unseen spirit that still haunts the mountain? The one even Chayot feared? The storm is far from over. This is only the beginning. So tell me, what do you think will happen next? Will Pharan be able to protect Chem, or will the past repeat itself in an even crueler way? Drop your theories in the comments below. I love reading them. And if this story gave you chills, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next chapter of Khemjira. Until then, keep your lanterns lit, and don't wander into the forest alone.